Leah was terrified when I was getting this epidural.
I nearly collapsed.
And I had to say to her, calm down, Leah. Like, you need to calm down. I did a push and her head completely popped out. They were like, stop, stop. And Leah freaked out thinking she was going to fly across the room. And Leah ran to a window.
I screamed and tried to run out the room. I thought her whole body was going to fly out.
I put her on the floor and Oakley came over and was like...
pointing at her face.
Yeah, he tried holding her hand.
Yeah. It was one of the best moments of my life.
Hey guys, and welcome to our brand new podcast, The 3am Club, with me, Caitlin.
And me, Leah.
We'll be talking everything about our relationship and parenting and everything that comes along with that.
Peri-nappies.
Couple fights.
Screaming toddlers.
And sleepless nights. So you're going to hear all about our parenting adventures, the good, the bad, and the mad, as we become parents of 2.
And we'll also bring some amazing guests along for the ride.
We want to hear all about your parenting tips and hacks, funny stories, couple fails, and questions on our segment, The Midnight Mail. So welcome to the 3am Club. Hi guys, welcome to the 3am Club with me, Caitlin.
And me, Leah.
So you guys might be wondering why we're not in our usual studio today, and that is because Lyla is finally born. She's finally here with us, and we are so excited.
So we thought we would do a very special episode. We're at home, we've got baby girl here, and we're going to tell you all about her amazing birth.
Okay, so she's actually here with us. Underneath this wrap, you'll probably hear some cute little noises. But yeah, should we get into the story and how it all played down?
It feels like it was like a month ago because the birth felt so long.
Do you think? I feel like it feels like it literally just happened yesterday.
Do you really?
Yeah.
See, I feel like the membrane sweeps, the induction, honestly, it feels like last month.
Well, I tried so hard not to have an induction because Leah had an induction with Oakley and you had a really bad experience with it. It just, your body wasn't ready. So I was taking everything possible, like doing everything possible to try and avoid an induction. So I was having the raspberry leaf tea, 6 dates a day, started expressing colostrum early, literally everything. And then I had 3 membrane sweeps beforehand, and every time we got so excited, we're like, this is going to be the one that's going to work.
Every time you got a pain, we were like, Mum, get ready, you might have to look after Oakley, we've got to go to the hospital.
So I had my 3rd membrane sweep, and if you guys don't know what that is, it's basically where they check if you're dilated or anything at all, the cervix, and if it's soft, and if it's 1 centimeter dilated, then they're able to go in and literally stretch it and kind of separate the water sac, I think, from the uterus, which kind of starts...
I'm saying yes, but I actually don't really know.
Yeah, whatever. Every time I went for a membrane sweep, I was progressing a bit. So I'd gone from 1 centimeter to 2 to 3 centimeters, and I was thinning out and stuff, but I wasn't having consistent contractions or anything. So I wouldn't say I was in proper labor or anything yet. So they said to me, before we break your waters, we're going to give you something called a gel, which is supposed to help soften your cervix and help with the induction. So they gave me the gel, I think it was at 10:30?
10:30.
So you have to lay down for an hour, and then they said go for a long walk to try and get things moving. So we of course went for a walk to Costa, and I was sitting in Costa and I was in so much pain, and Leah had gone to get some ketchup from the till, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, she is taking so long. I really wish she'd hurry up and come back because I'm in so much pain. But I would say they were pretty bearable contractions at that point.
Well, compared to the contractions later, which we will go into.
Yeah.
But at the time you were like, wow, this is a lot.
Yeah. But I was coping. I was fine. So
you were coping.
We came back and I was just bouncing on the ball, listening to some Taylor Swift. You were sitting on the chair. What were you doing? I think you were FaceTiming Oakley at one point. FaceTiming your mum and Oakley.
Yeah. We missed Oakley so much.
We missed him so much because inductions can take anywhere from a day to weeks.
So you were having the contractions, was in Costa, and then what happened?
And then, so they have to wait they wait 6 hours after they give you the gel before they check again. And I was sitting in the bed on the machine, strapped up to the machine where they check baby girl's heart rate and like the contractions. And there was this hilarious midwife there. She was so funny. So there was a midwife that had come out of retirement, I think she said, and she hadn't worked on a labour ward in years.
Absolute years.
And you could tell it was so funny. Like she genuinely, there was one point she didn't know how to turn the light switch on, and she was asking everyone like, where's the light switch? How do I turn it on?
She was very, you could tell she was very experienced in like the old fashioned way, because she was checking if you were having contractions by feeling your tummy.
Yeah, she said she doesn't trust the machine. So the machine was saying, oh, it was going up to 100, and she was like, oh no, you're not having contractions that are like that. I think that I don't trust this machine, so I'm going to just sit here and feel your stomach. And then she felt my stomach, and she was like, I think they're quite mild. And Leah was like, I don't think she feels like they're mild.
No, because I feel like when you're in labour, the worst thing for someone to say to you is that you're maybe not progressing as well as you thought you were progressing, and then that can set you back.
Yeah.
But she was a lovely woman, and she had so much experience, but
she was very funny.
She didn't know how to use any of the electrical equipment.
No.
Nothing.
I was actually having to tell her how to turn on the machine, and I've never used this machine before, but I was like, I think maybe you press the start button.
And then obviously they broke your waters after the 6 hours,
but so they checked after the 6 hours, and I was still 3 centimeters, and the gel didn't really do anything other than start my contractions, which was good. So they decided that they would break my waters.
And of course, when your waters broke, it had to break onto that midwife that was making the biggest deal. And obviously you're already quite like anxious, and you know, you're in a vulnerable state with your legs up and everything, and she's like, oh, I've got your water all over me.
Because Leah said to them, so just before they were about to break my waters, Leah said, are they going to go everywhere? Like, are they going to like, you know, hit the wall or something?
No, let's take it back a minute, Caitlin. You said to me, because we had chocolate and sweets all over the ward, you were like, move it all because the waters might that splash on the chocolate and all of that. So I was like, Caitlin, don't be silly, it's not going to fly in the air. And you were like, they might. So then I asked the midwife, and the midwife was like, no,
they were like,
it
no,
won't.
it's fine, we just put a few puppy pads down and it's fine. Anyway, they broke my waters. It didn't go everywhere, but it didn't like go across the room, but they were shocked how much water I had.
You had so much water.
I had like a whole puddle in the bed of water, and then obviously it went on the midwife, and she wasn't very happy.
She wasn't, but it's not your fault. It's not your fault at all. And then obviously what we didn't realise is that when they break your waters, that's not it. Literally throughout the whole of the labour, and even after the labour, your waters do keep coming out.
Yeah.
They like trickle out.
Yeah, I kept on, it like every time I would move, it would just be this gush of water coming out. It was so, like people, when you think of labour and pregnancy, people really glamorise it, but I feel like it's so not glamorous at all.
No, it's not.
It is not glamorous. But
so yeah, they broke your waters.
I was quite scared for them to do it, because I was thinking, what is this going to feel like? Is it going to hurt? Is it going to... No, it didn't hurt or anything. It just feels like you've wet yourself a lot.
Did you feel a lot of pressure? Like all the pressure's gone? Because that's what the midwife said.
I didn't. They said when they break your waters, you normally feel like the pressure all goes and it's a big relief. I didn't really feel like that.
Really?
No. I was more, it was kind of cringing me out how like she's been in these waters for 9 months, and now they've gone from her, and I was thinking, what must she be thinking? I've been swimming and now I'm in this like empty sack. I don't know, it was just
That's very true.
It was making me a bit cringed out thinking about that.
You're thinking of that.
Yeah. So once they broke my waters, they moved us to the delivery room.
Yes, we had our own room, and it was honestly beautiful. It had it was so calm, wasn't it? It had
so
fairy
nice.
lights.
Yeah, it had fairy lights, and like the fairy lights they'd put in the shape of hearts, and there was sea turtles and stuff all over the walls. This is where they started me on the Pitocin drip, which is like fake oxytocin that they put in you. And
that was rough. That was really rough, wasn't it?
Well, it started off fine. So they started me on the lowest dose of Pitocin, and that's meant to help you progress and your contractions get started and stuff. And it was fine. It was all good. Like I was coping with the contractions. I think for pain relief, at that time I'd had paracetamol, and then they gave me some Oromorph.
Yes.
Which I feel like the Oromorph didn't help. Like the paracetamol did nothing at all.
Which, to be fair, I would expect during labour. I don't think paracetamol is going to take the edge off.
No. And then the Oromorph, I think, just made me feel like relaxed, but definitely didn't help with the pain either. But then, the Pitocin started my contractions properly, and it was definitely the worst pain I've ever felt in my life.
You are very, very, like, you have the highest pain tolerance. And for you to say, I'm in so much pain.
Well, I didn't even say I was in pain at this point, because I wasn't scared of pain in labour. The thing I was scared of the most was being sick. So everything they were giving me, I was like,
every minute.
Will this make me feel sick? And then
but every minute you were saying, can I have anti-sickness?
Yeah, no, because everything they gave me, they were like, this could make you feel sick and throw up. So I was like, can I have some anti-sickness, please? Because I do not want to throw up. Yeah. So when they first started giving me the gas and air, I feel like, again, gas and air doesn't make the pain go away. It just distracts you and makes you high. Yeah. It was so weird. My face was tingling with it. I remember every contraction, I was like, it would come, and I was thinking, okay, it's only going to last a few seconds, like a few more seconds, and then it's going to calm down again. And like, I was really trying to get myself through each one. And then by the time it got to 1 a.m., I was just so exhausted, and I was like, this is too painful. I'm gonna see, like, how long does it take for them to get an epidural.
But when you said the words epidural, I literally pricked up and I was like, right, she is in pain. And I went into panic mode. I was so calm, I think. Like,
you were calm, but what were you thinking when I was just sitting there for hours not talking to you?
I was thinking, she's coping, because all I kept hearing was the midwife saying, you're in control, and you weren't speaking. And I knew when you're in that zone, not to speak. You knew what you were doing. You were in control. So I just wanted to just be there for you, but not be overpowering or just letting you get on with it. Yeah. But then when you said epidural, I think I had a panic attack, which wasn't the best.
Because I said, could we have an epidural? And it was literally like time for them to check if I had dilated or anything. And she was like, you could be at 9 centimeters, and then we give you an epidural, and like, you don't need it. I was like, no, I really think I need an epidural now. And it takes 40 minutes for them to set up and put in an epidural. So it's a long time. And once I'd like kind of said, I'm going to have an epidural, I feel like all the control of me being able to cope with the pain kind of was, I was like, oh my gosh, I've just got to get through these next 40 minutes and hopefully I won't be in pain anymore. So you were like, no, I think she needs an epidural.
You were like, so much pain. I've never seen you. At this point, you were...
But you were right, though. You said I wouldn't scream. I did not scream once.
You didn't scream.
I didn't make
but
a
you
noise.
said you didn't have the energy.
No.
I could just see... I know you very well. I could see in your face, and you were like...
I feel like when you're in that much pain, like, you literally do not have the energy to cry or scream or anything. You just... Like, there's nothing you can do.
No.
But Leah was terrified when I was getting this epidural.
I think I nearly collapsed.
Because I remember I was bent over getting the epidural, and I was mid-contraction, and I looked at Leah, and she would look like she was going to cry, and I had to say to her, calm down, Leah. Like, you need to calm down. I was trying to calm you down.
In the 8 years I've been with you, I've never seen you like that. And when you say you want an epidural, that freaked me out, because I wasn't expecting that, because I know what you're like.
Yeah.
And I kept saying to Caitlin beforehand, before the birth, before we went in, I was like, Caitlin, if you need pain meds, take it. You're not going to get a medal. Like, there's no medal. You're not going to say, I didn't have anything. Like, you take what you need. And Caitlin just kept saying, I'll see how I get on. I see how I get on.
I just wanted to be really open-minded. Like, I didn't want to go in there and say, like, I'm definitely going to do this. Because you never know what's going to happen in a birth.
Yeah. So she put it in you. And as soon as she put the needle into you, I went and sat down, and then I was like, I think I made like a noise with my throat. I think I gagged. The lady was like, are you okay? I was like, I think I'm going to collapse. And then I just got myself together, and I was like, right, I'm fine. I just had to have that sit down for like 2 seconds. So she went out the room and she said, let me know if you're getting any feelings. And then you're like, I can feel it on one side only. One side feels very numb, and the other side is so painful. So it worked on like half your body. So she was like, and I didn't think this was going to work. I was like, this is ridiculous. She just needs another epidural or something in my head.
Like, please, can we get them back and get them to fix it?
She was like, lay on your other side, because whatever the liquid they put in only went to one side. So they said, lay on your other side and see if the liquid would travel. And I was thinking in my head, this is ridiculous. Give the poor girl an epidural. Like, I was getting really annoyed in my head. And I was like, it's so silly, but it actually worked.
Yeah, I turned over to my right because I could feel the contractions in my right hip still, and they were painful. Like it was so much better because it was like cut in half, the pain, because it wasn't on one side, but it was so much better. But when I turned over, it actually helped.
But bless you, you were like, if I just have pain in one side, it's fine. Like, I'm not gonna get too upset because at least it's like half the pain. Even though you were in so much pain, you were like, it's fine.
But oh my gosh, that relief of an epidural is heavenly. Like I recommend it to anyone.
You were a different person. Like, you were literally just laying down. Oh no, you did have a little bit of a panic because of your heart rate. Your heart rate went super duper high, didn't it?
Yeah, so I had the epidural, and then you have to wait again another 4 hours to be checked if you've dilated anymore or anything. So I was laying on my right hand side, and I thought finally we might get some sleep whilst we're like waiting. I'm not in pain. And then my heart started racing.
Bearing in mind you have a heart condition, so Caitlin is used to her heart rate getting quite high. She's got inappropriate sinus tachycardia, so we was expecting it to get high, but it went, normally your heart rate's around 110
like
beats per minute.
If I'm laying down and relaxing, it's like 110, but obviously I was in labour, so it was going a bit higher, but at this point it really started to race. I don't even know what it was going to.
See, I lied. I didn't tell you when it was going up because you were having a panic attack.
I was having a panic.
So I'll tell you now because I can tell you, your heart rate was about 170 at one point. I think, I don't want to say the wrong thing, I'm sure it went to 180, I think. So, and then when you were calmer, the calmest it went to was 130, 128, 130. So you were really, really, really
because
panicky.
It wasn't just like, I could feel it was fast, but it felt like palpitations and stuff. So then I was thinking, oh no, like I hope my heart's able to cope with this. So they went and did another ECG.
Which was absolutely horrific.
Why was it horrific?
Because none of the stickers were stick.
Yeah, that was annoying.
Gosh, like we were worried about your heart, and the ECG took about an hour to do because basically for an ECG you have these stickers on certain parts of your body, but they weren't sticking. So when they were getting the trace of your heart, they couldn't get an accurate one.
It wasn't working.
And the more they were doing it, the more panicked you are, and so on.
They did it, and thankfully everything was like, other than it being fast, everything was like okay. So that gave us a bit of relief. And then by the time all of that had done, it was time to check me again.
So this new midwife came in to check how dilated Caitlin was. And then she says 9 centimetres. So the first thing I say is, I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure she's 9 centimetres dilated? Yes, definitely. I'm like, yeah, but is that the best case scenario or is it around 7 or 8? Because normally the midwives say to us, if I'm being generous, I'm saying 3, and if I'm not, I'm saying 2. So we questioned her. She's like, I promise you, I can feel her head. She's 9 centimetres dilated.
She actually said, I'm being generous saying 9 centimetres. She said, there's a little bit of like thickening on one side or something, but I think, I'm going to say 9 centimetres. We'll come back and check you in 2 hours.
I can feel her head. And we're like, does she have hair?
Yeah.
She's like, she doesn't have any hair. I feel no hair.
Which actually is a lie. She does have hair.
She does. And very quickly, a lot of people on social media think she's ginger.
She is not ginger.
At the moment, she's got brown hair.
Yeah, she's got brown hair. She's very tanned like Leah. And she's got very dark blue eyes. So I think they're going to go brown. Yeah. She literally is a mini Leah.
We put a picture of me and then a picture of Lyla. And actually, like, she does look a bit like me.
A bit.
Really
she literally
sweet.
Looks exactly like Leah. It's adorable. She's like
we've got a mini Oakley that looks like Caitlin and a mini Lyla that looks like Leah.
That's so
But
cute.
yeah, sorry, we're basically off tracking again. There's so much to tell you guys.
we're so excited.
Yeah, we're very excited. So 9 centimetres dilated. By this point, we're dancing on the walls. We're talking to
I can't move. I'm numb. I'm stuck to a bed.
But we're talking to this midwife about so many things and we're so excited. And she's like, right, going to leave you 1 hour. See if you naturally want to push. Just see what happens in the hour.
Yeah.
So at this point, we phone our best friend, Connor.
Yeah. So we phoned Connor and he was so excited, wasn't he?
He's never seen anything like this before. He looked a bit flustered.
And our friend Connor's gay, so he was a bit like never seen anything
feminine
before, if you know what I mean.
So he came in, he did look a bit like, oh my gosh, right. Yeah.
He didn't
But
know
at
what to
that
do.
point, you were very calm. You had the epidural. So he was like, are you okay, Caitlin? I thought you'd be screaming.
Yeah,
And
he was shocked. He did not know what to expect. He'd never experienced anything like this. So he was really excited, but probably a bit anxious.
Yeah.
It then got to 9 a.m. and they said we can start pushing at 9 a.m.
No, they said do the pretend pushes.
At 9 a.m. Yeah. So you do 2 practice pushes at first. And again, 2 new midwives had come in because obviously they had a shift change. So we had 2 new midwives and they were really lovely, weren't they?
They were so lovely.
They were so lovely. So they came in and they said, okay, try and push. And they put me on these like straddle things. So there were these 2 bars that come up on the side of the bed. And because I was so numb, I couldn't move. So they like lifted my legs onto these straddle things. It wasn't the nicest position to be in, with like your legs wide apart and everyone just, seeing everything. So then they said, okay, try, when your next contraction comes, which was showing on the screen because I couldn't feel them, do a push. And I was thinking, how am I going to push when I can't feel anything? And they said, do a push like you're doing a big poo. So anyway, I tried, and they said, okay, you're doing really good. Like her head is coming really
And I was watching it the whole time.
Yeah. So every time a contraction would come, I would push. I felt nothing. It was amazing. And then Leah was watching and you were like getting so excited but you were quite nervous as well, weren't you? So they got to a point where her head had come out a little bit and they said to me, oh, you can like lean down and feel her head. And that was so special. Like I could actually feel her head. And I said to Leah, you feel her head? And you were like, no, I can't. I'm too squeamish. I can't feel her head. You were just so panicky, weren't you?
I was, but there was a point where you were pushing and pushing. But what you don't realise with labour is you only can push with a contraction. And contractions happen like every 2 minutes. So you're pushing and you get to see a bit of your baby's head. And then obviously as a contraction goes, you're not pushing and the head slowly goes in a bit.
Yeah.
Which I never realised at all. But there was a point where obviously she got so far out of the birth canal that you could see her head and it stayed for a while. And it really scared me because obviously she didn't take a breath yet.
Oh,
I didn't know.
Yeah.
So I thought she would look like a healthy baby, but her head was out. And obviously she looked so unwell. I thought something wrong, like something bad happened. She was red in the face. She actually looked really scary. So I started screaming, saying, is she okay? Is she okay? And they were like, she's fine. She's fine. She's
like,
coming out.
Is she breathing? They're like, no, she's still like coming out. She's not breathing yet. But
I had no idea.
They don't tell you this because I remember in your C-section with Oakley, oh, Lyla. In your C-section with Oakley, he had come out, like got his head out, and they were just letting him sit there for a bit. And I remember thinking, like, is he okay? He's not moving. He's purple. But they don't tell you that. They should tell you. They should probably prepare you that they're not going to look like a baby yet, like a proper baby.
So then this is where it gets a little bit interesting. So
I did a push and her head completely popped out. They were like, stop, because I didn't know that. I don't know.
You couldn't feel it.
And they didn't realise she was going to come out so quick. So she popped out really fast, her head, and Leah freaked out thinking she was going to fly across the room, and Leah ran to a window. I don't know why.
I am the worst birth partner. I actually sound crazy. I ran to a window. I screamed and tried to run out the room. I thought her whole body was going to fly out.
Yeah.
It looked like that. And everyone, literally, I think, because they then end up getting more midwives when they think you're going to give birth. So at this point, there's 4. And they all screamed, stop. And it's scary. I've never experienced this before.
I think you have like a very over-exaggerated memory of what happened. Because literally, I think one midwife, the one that was holding her head, said to me, stop. And that was it. They didn't all shout stop at me.
In my head, I feel like all 4 shouted stop. And obviously, I ran out the room. I tried to run out.
Yeah, Leah was trying to escape through a window.
I sound really like I was the worst birth partner. But I feel like I was stressful, but I advocated for you very well. Every time you wanted something, I got you it.
You did. You were. I did have to reassure you quite a few times throughout the labour, but you were very good. So anyway, her head had come out. Leah had run to a window and then decided she'd come back again. And then on the last, like, I did one more push and she came out and they put her on my chest and we just like, you ran over and it was just the most special moment, wasn't it? Like we saw her and she was crying. We were so happy that she cried straight away. I feel like when you give birth, you just are waiting to hear that cry and she cried. And it was just so special.
She came out and she was just perfect.
Her eyes were wide open.
She came out looking like we were holding her. She was looking right at us.
Yeah.
And she was so alert and it was just the most magical.
It was so special.
Thing.
Compared to Oakley, when Oakley came out, he was screaming, wasn't he? Yeah. He was literally so loud. She did this cute little cry and then was just looking around. It was very cute. But it's crazy how like different their personalities are already. And just that like in the birth, like the difference you can already see in them. But it was just the most amazing feeling, like seeing her for the first time and like finally seeing what this little girl that's been in my tummy for 9 months looks like. And she looks like you. It's like I just gave birth to a mini Leah.
That is so cute.
The next thing was you're meant to cut the cord.
Oh, I was trying to maybe miss this part out because I sound a bit crazy. I actually don't sound
No, you were so cute. So
no, I asked the lady. So we already confirmed that I was going to cut the cord.
Yeah.
But bear in mind, it was very stressful to watch your wife in so much pain. Like it was all very stressful. Felt very sick at this point. So I said to the lady, if I cut the cord, will blood splatter out? Would blood go everywhere? She said, maybe. Mm-hmm. So I was like, right, I don't want to feel sick. I just want to enjoy this moment. I'm not going to cut the cord. So, of course, Caitlin, being the trooper, bent over, had Lyla in her arms and cut the cord because I didn't do it.
But I never got to do it with Oakley because you had a cesarean. Like I think they forgot that was part of it. So... Well, I don't know, but they didn't let me do it because I really wanted to do it with Oakley, so it was quite special.
But when I watched it wasn't as bad as...
No blood
at all.
Out at all. But because her head came out so fast, I did get a second-degree tear. Yeah. So whilst she was like on my chest and stuff, they were stitching me up. And then, as I said before, I was so scared. The one thing I was scared of throughout the whole birth was getting sick. I don't know why, like...
Because you're scared of being sick.
Even though I had hyperemesis. So they were stitching me up and I was like, oh no, I'm going to be sick.
You gave me a look and you looked petrified. You said, I'm going to be sick.
I did.
But you did feel better after, didn't you?
Yeah. But out of the whole thing, that was what scared me the most, literally being sick.
By the time it was the next morning, we were itching to get back.
Yeah, we really we missed Oakley so much. Like it was so hard having... to be away from Oakley, even though like we were meeting our daughter, to then like just not be together as a family. We just could not wait to get home and be together, just all four of us. Yeah. And we were so excited for Oakley to meet Lyla. And,
we got in, we finally got home and Oakley had just woken up from his nap.
Yeah.
So we took Oakley out from the cot and I think it was you. You were sitting down with Lyla.
But I put her on the floor because I heard a lot of people say, like, when you first introduce them, to not hold her so that he doesn't get jealous or anything. Even though I don't think he's old enough to get jealous. So I put her on the floor and Oakley came over and was like...
pointing at her face.
Yeah, he tried holding her hand. Yeah. And then you put Oakley on your lap and then I think... I held Lyla up to him and put her on his lap and he was like stroking her face and it was so cute.
And then she did a little cry, like a tiny, tiny little cry and he thought it was so funny and he was laughing at her. It was one of the best moments of my life.
Definitely,
actually my best moment in my life, them two meeting.
It was adorable.
But we say that, but now, like, it's 5 days after and he doesn't really take any notice of her.
No, he's completely, like, I think he's just either got used to her or just is kind of like, she doesn't really do much, I don't care.
Yeah.
But he is so gentle with her when he does see her. And I think they're just going to be the best of friends. I can't wait for, like, a few months' time when she can sit up and they can interact. Yeah. And they're just going to be the best of friends.
It was amazing.
It was really special. I'm so lucky. I feel so lucky that I had such a positive birth and that you had such a positive birth as well. Like we are so lucky because a lot of people don't get that.
No, we were very worried, but everything turned out absolutely perfect.
Amazing.
And our family is officially complete.
Yeah, no more kids.
No
that
more
is
kids.
it. We have our family.
Just Mummy Caitlin, Mummy Leah, Oakley and Lyla.
Right, now it's time for our weekly segment, Midnight Mail, where we answer questions from you guys.
You guys have asked us so many questions about the birth, so hopefully we're going to answer them for you right now. So, Caitlin, the first question.
Ooh.
Now, be honest.
Okay.
This is from Rihanna. Was Leah a good birth partner? So, out of anything you guys have heard, you can guess her answer probably.
No, you were a very, very good birth partner. You were so good at advocating for me and like just making sure that everything was going smoothly. Because I'm the type of person, like, I would be afraid to ask for something or like... Yeah, I'm not very good at speaking up for myself in those situations. I get too anxious. So you definitely were there for me with like things like that. You were really, really good. You were funny. I feel like you were good entertainment. So yeah, I didn't get like offended or anything by your things that you would. It's just you. Like, I'm just so used to you. You were definitely a very good birth partner.
Out of 10?
10.
Thank you.
Definitely 10.
I'll take that.
Okay, so the next one is from Kaylee. What are things about birth people never tell you about?
Oh,
I feel like we have a few.
Yeah. So you only push with a contraction. It's not constant pushing. You can push and then wait 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, and I actually waited after my first contraction that I pushed on. My contractions decided to disappear for like 10 minutes. So we were just chilling, talking for 10 minutes.
Yeah, they did say you can literally be doing this for 2 hours for your first baby, up to 2 hours.
Yeah. And actually, something that our family didn't know. So Connor was there and he was updating them on text. And he texted Leah's mum saying, Lila's head is out. And then he didn't contact them for like 20 minutes. So they were in a panic mode, but he didn't contact them because obviously she'd come out and he was just experiencing the moment. But they didn't realize how long it can take to push a baby out. They thought that you push a few times and they're there. So they were panicking.
She was crying. She was phoning your Aunt Siobhan up, saying, what is going on? There's something must have happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't realise that either. I would say another thing I didn't realise was, going back to before, when you just see the baby's head, they're not going to look like how they look once they've fully come out.
Yeah, because I think they're still being fed and everything off of the placenta, like the oxygen is going through the placenta. So they haven't taken that first breath yet, and they do look a bit weird, which is normal and can be a bit shocking.
Yeah.
I just feel like every birth is so different.
I would say what Connor said to us was he was so surprised with how calm it was. I feel like when you watch movies,
but I feel like that's the epidural. Yeah, that is the epidural.
Or if you don't have an epidural, it can just be quite a peaceful, calm environment, apart from me being a bit funny. But it can be a bit calm.
Yeah, birth can be calm. It's not always like screaming and stuff.
Okay, so the next question is, how does it feel to be a mother of 2?
It is amazing. I feel like when I was thinking before we became parents of 2, I was like, how is my heart gonna love 2 children as much as we love Oakley? But then now that Lila's here, it's like you don't split that love. Your heart literally just grows, and it's just so amazing. Like the love that you have for them is just like you can't even describe it. It's you would do anything for them, wouldn't you?
We're the luckiest parents alive. But I would say the thing I'm finding the most hard, more hard than no sleep, more hard than like worrying about feeds, is honestly making sure they both feel the same amount of love.
Yeah.
Obviously with Oakley, he's so used to just being us, like all the time. So we're so lucky there's 2 of us. We work from home. They're always going to have one of us with them. But I feel like at the moment I'm putting so much into Oakley that he doesn't feel like anything's changed.
Yeah.
That when he does go for his naps or when he does go to sleep, I'm drained.
Yeah.
Because really trying to put everything into him.
Literally like every second, like we're always trying to split the time with both kids. So we're trying to like Lyla will feed and then I'll give her to you and then I'll play with Oakley and then she'll feed, you'll play with Oakley, and we're like just trying to give them both so much love. And I just feel so guilty when I'm not with like one of them. Like This morning, for example, I was up every 2 hours in the night feeding. So
and you're like, I still want to wake up early and see Oakley.
I miss Oakley so much. I really want to get up. So I did have an hour lay in, but it's just so hard because you just want to give them both so much love, and the guilt is so strong.
So to round it up, being a mum of 2 is the biggest blessing and the best thing in the entire world. It's the best thing we'll ever be.
Oh, definitely.
Parents to Oakley and Lyla. But we're just navigating, which I'm sure we'll go into a lot more in detail in further podcasts, but we're just navigating, trying to
it's only day 5.
It's only day 5, yeah. But
we're still trying to juggle this.
We're still just trying to juggle that they both feel the most amazing amount of love from both of us.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's going to be a journey. Can't wait for the ride.
Same. We don't have any more time for your questions, but if you do have any, send us a DM over on Instagram.
So Caitlin, how are you feeling telling everyone about the birth of Lyla?
I'm just so happy that she is finally here in our arms, and we are able to tell everybody the amazing story of how she got here.
I'm so proud of how well you've coped.
Thank you so much.
I know you were really worried about so many different things. And you've shocked me. I said to you on text earlier, I've never loved you so much, and it's true. I know we've had bickers because we're tired, but watching you become a mum to 2 and you've not even slept. You're barely sleeping. She's solely relying on your food, and you're still getting up every day. You're still making sure Oakley feels your love. It's mind blowing. You're doing incredible.
Oh,
genuinely.
Well, so are you. You're doing amazing as well. You're having to try and keep everything going, and you've been doing just amazing.
But I'm really proud of you. I was really worried about how you were going to cope, and you're doing amazing.
Thank you. I can't believe it. We're definitely in the 3 a.m. club.
Caitlin's feeding Lyla whilst I was fast asleep at 3 a.m.
Yeah, but you hear every time that she wakes up as well. So
I'm a very light sleeper.
Yeah, so it's not it's just me waking up. No. You're still waking up as well.
But once she's in your arms feeding, then I feel a bit more, I can sleep. So guys, that is the end of this podcast. We're so happy to be able to share the birth story with all of you guys. As you can see, we are at home, but we did have some pre-recorded podcasts for you guys, which will be at the studio, which you will see in the next coming weeks.
Obviously, when you guys are watching, I'm still going to be pregnant. I'm not pregnant again. They are pre-recorded.
They're literally pre-recorded, so we can just have some time where we chill, have time with Lyla, and adjust to our family of 4. Guys, thank you so much for joining us at the 3 a.m. Club.
Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, as well as listen and follow on Spotify or your podcast app of choice.
Please feel free to leave a like, comment, and a really lovely review.
And remember, you're part of the 3 a.m. Club too, so please get in touch with your questions, parenting tips, and funny stories.
As always, you can come and find us on Instagram and TikTok at the 3 a.m. Club Podcast.
Thanks again, guys.
Bye.
Bye.